Yeah. And then let's move into one that I know we both could talk about forever, but we won't because we have to keep this decent time here in this podcast. But The Social Network from
That
2010.
was his next. Wow.
Yeah, that came after 2 years later after Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Nice.
So I don't think that it's a hot take to say this is one of the best and a perfect screenplay if I've ever seen one. I think that is a pretty common opinion about this movie. But it is interesting to me that it is kind of one that tends to be lower rated overall. And like when
Really?
you're not just talking about Letterboxd, but IMDb and things like that, it's definitely a lower rated one. It's like 7.5 out of 10. And it's barely a 4.0 on Letterboxd. It spent a lot of time at a 3.9. It only recently went up to a 4. So thought that was interesting, but love to hear your initial thoughts. I know you just rewatched it. I rewatched it this week as well, and I still rate it very highly.
Yeah, Social Network's one of my favorite films of all time. It's weird that this is a comfort film for me. Like I watch this so often
Hmm.
that it's like it's I just get comforted by the story. What modern biopics, well, not even biopics, what some biopics do incorrectly is they sugarcoat shit. They don't show the nitty
Yep.
gritty, the bad stuff, to make you kind of dislike the person that it's about. That was like kind of the main criticism of Bohemian Rhapsody, of like they basically made this guy
Yeah.
look like a god and didn't um, include any of the stuff that made him look like a piece of shit. Social Network throws that out of the window. They very much
Yeah,
make Mark
I really
Zuckerberg,
hate Mark Zuckerberg when I
yeah,
leave this movie
he's a
in his fuck you
piece.
flip-flops.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. In this film, at least, who knows how he is nowadays? He should fight Elon Musk and get that settled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I adore this film. I think this is one of the best scripts ever made, top five easily.
Yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
Sorkin. He deserved that cameo. Did you see the cameo that Aaron Sorkin did? I was in
Yes.
where he's like they're going through the investors and they met with Aaron Sorkin and I was like, oh, it's Aaron. That was cool.
Yeah. I knew that he had done I had read that he had done a cameo, and then when I rewatched it, I think it must have been a couple years ago. I remember noticing that for the first time.
Yeah. So yeah, the script's incredible. Sorry, there's people outside my apartment just yelling at each other. The script's incredible, but one thing that isn't touched on enough is the soundtrack. The score
Oh,
is
it's so good.
remarkable. The doom boo boo is so good. It's like one of
Yeah,
my favorite scores
it
of all
sets the
time.
tone so well throughout the entire movie. You talked about a couple movies being like some of his best openings. This one,
Yeah.
for me, is my favorite opening, maybe of any movie ever. Maybe not
Shout
ever,
out
but
Rooney
it's
Mara.
up there. Okay, did you know that this took 99 takes?
That one scene.
99 takes. And it's all dialogue. Boom, boom, back and forth. They're just both like quip after quip. I mean, 99 takes. Like,
That's so
God bless them.
tiring.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's a tiring conversation to watch as an audience member, but in the best way possible.
yeah.
It sets you up to really see who this guy is. And then you come full circle in the movie. And spoilers, I'm sorry if you haven't seen this, please stop listening. But him sitting there refreshing over and over and over and over and waiting for her friend
Perfect
request.
ending.
Like the movie is just so full circle from start to finish. And I just love it so much. I could go on forever.
What do you think about Sean Parker?
Like as far as Justin Timberlake playing him,
I think it's first
like
off,
just
I think
in
it's
general.
hilarious that they got Justin Timberlake to play the guy that
Oh
invented
yeah.
Napster. I think that's
Yeah.
adorably ironic. But as a person in this film, how he's depicted, are you on Eduardo's
I
side?
mean, what is it?
Are you on Eduardo's
What'd
side?
you say? Oh, I mean, yeah, I definitely don't like the way that he went about everything. I don't necessarily agree with like the greediness and kind of the way he wanted to take things, but it's kind of to be expected when someone's trying to build themselves up to be, $1 billion company in Silicon Valley. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I think he's a piece of shit. I mean, obviously that last scene there where he's wired in, and he's just being a
Oh,
total
so
dick
good.
to Eduardo, and obviously him ending up with 7% and Eduardo ending up with basically nothing is total shit. I mean, it's just a shitty thing to do.
Doesn't isn't
But
that one of the greatest like lines that like kind of just makes you your heart fall? It's like 0.03%. You're like, oh, what? Like,
Yeah, no, my heart breaks every time I watch that whole scene, and then him storming out. You just sent it to me earlier when you were watching it, but him storming out of there and walking over
oh,
there
one of the
and
best.
throwing I mean, just one of my favorite scenes in movie history. Andrew Garfield can do no wrong. I love that man so much. Um,
You better
that
lawyer
that
up,
scene is,
asshole. Because I'm not coming
yeah,
back
my
for third.
favorite.
Not coming back 30%. I'm coming back for the whole thing.
Yeah, he does fantastic. That's actually my introduction to Andrew Garfield was this movie. I saw it when it came out, obviously. I was just a young 17-year-old. And I loved it. And I love it every time I rewatch it. So I really have nothing but good things to say about this movie. I think it deserves all the credit it gets. I think it's crazy to think that like people would give this like less than a 4 out of 5. Like I understand if it's not your favorite movie of all time, but not liking it or respecting what it is, like I just my brain can't fathom it.
Yeah, I think this is one of the greatest biopics of all time, by far.
Yeah,
I think as
yeah.
I just to touch on what I said before is like it because it doesn't hold back. It shows each side.
Hmm.
It shows like I'm very much on Eduardo's side. I get why they did it. If they went all with Eduardo, they probably won't be anywhere near as big as what they are now. Um, but they showed Eduardo's downfalls and they showed his like what he was doing for the company. Like the whole, they kept trying to gaslight him, or kind of tarnish his image, being like, "Oh, Eduardo's in New York. He's at an internship. Yada yada yada." And then Eduardo came
Hmm.
back and visited. He's just like, "I quit the internship on day one. I've been working from New
I
York."
told you that.
He's
He
like, "I
told him that
told you
too. And
this." He's
yeah,
like, "Oh yeah, that does ring a bell." Like, so like he very much is like and then to be diluted to 0.03%. Fucked. Oh, this movie's so
yeah,
good. Bow, bow,
yeah.
bow.
We could go on forever. But yeah, I literally have nothing bad to say about it. I think it's actually, Harry, this might be what was the beginning of our friendship on TikTok. I
Oh
think I
really?
made a video and you commented and you said, I saw the social network, so I hit follow or something like that.
Yeah, probably. That sounds
It
something
was
like
like
that.
over a
So,
year ago. So full
well,
circle moment for us as well.
there it is.
Um, now we have a podcast. So obviously we both love similar movies.
Amen.
Um, but yeah, that is our thoughts on the social
Should
network.
we
Next was the
take
girl that
should we take this moment to announce that we're diluting Byron's share down to 0.03%?
you want to be as shitty as Mark Zuckerberg and Sean Parker.
Byron's like, what does even that mean?
Yeah, I don't know how we do that with a podcast, considering we're not making any income from this, but we'll
Except for the
see. We'll see where
billions,
we pan out.
billions and billions and billions.
Well, that's all coming from your best friend Tom Cruise,
Okay,
obviously.
I call him TC, but yeah, you can call him Tom Cruise.
TC. All right.
Yeah.